Hello and welcome to another edition of Paranormal Activity and Mysterious Stories. Let me give you a quick preview of what I got coming up in this video. The first is of a glowing orb over a city of Thessaloniki, Greece. I think that's how you say it. This was just uploaded by UFO Sightings Daily, but apparently this took place on August 15th, and it's very similar to this UFO that was seen over Jerusalem in 2011. So we'll look at those videos. Also, a video out of Mexico of a little tiny orb. It's kind of hard to see. You can see it here. Not the best video, but it's still one of these strange objects that I've always been saying that these things are in our skies every single day. I don't think there isn't a day that goes by that someone doesn't catch a UFO or something. And here's is another strange video from New Jersey. It says two snake-like objects flying release an orb, and then apparently the camera turned off on its own. Take a look at that. It's just a quick video from 2014, basically of Buzz Aldrin and other people, talking about all these structures that are on the moon. And this goes back to people who are waiting for big D disclosure, for a head of state to make an announcement. That again, that's never going to happen. I believe it's never going to happen. I believe small D disclosure has been taking place, and it's been taking place at least since the Roswell crash, because I believe that was the government allowing that information to be leaked. And, we have stuff like this. This was on ET, on a national network, primetime network. People were talking about structures on the Mars, seeing UFOs. So disclosure has been happening a long time. Let's see. And here is an article about a Baptist minister. This is, one of those old stories that have been around for a while, but I just found an article about it. Baptist minister gave last rites to 3 aliens that died in 1941 UFO crash in Missouri. So take a look at that. And then last, it's nothing to do with aliens. It just has to do with these parasitic wasps that that apparently they lay their eggs inside of these caterpillars, and then up to 50 little wasps end up popping out of this caterpillar, sort of like out of the Alien movie. But I thought that was interesting, so we'll take a look at that. Okay, so let's get to the first one here. Well, like I said, this was in Greece, and really doesn't do much but just sit there. And again, this is one of those videos that it doesn't make a UFO maneuver. It doesn't do anything spectacular, but that's a pretty bright light that's sitting up there, for quite some time. Now, I don't want to play the whole video, but essentially that's all it does. It just sits there. Oh, here's a good shot to give you some perspective. But this video here is 1.5 minutes long, and I imagine whatever this thing must have been there a little bit longer. But like I was saying before, this is very similar to this incident that happened in Jerusalem. And actually, this incident was actually seen by several people.
Not alone in the universe. A UFO in the form of a bright light is seen descending over the Dome of the Rock in Jerusalem. The video is said to be taken over the weekend. Then suddenly the light shoots up into the sky. There you see it. Another video from a different angle appears to show the light doing the same thing. Those clips have gone viral now.
Yeah, so, several people took video. And, and this bright light, I'm sure if you look back if you looked at documents from ancient history, they would have probably described something similar, or there's definitely reports of something similar that if we interpret it today, it would most likely be that thing there. So whatever that thing is, it's definitely, that's not the first time. It's been popping in and out of sight for a long time. Okay, now here is another video out of Mexico. Now, in the beginning, it's just a super far shot, and this is really as close as he can get. Obviously, he's got one of those cameras that, I don't know, for whatever reason, always puts these empty black space on the sides. Man, I wish there was a simple solution to solve it. But anyways, that's that for this video. That it doesn't really do much of anything else. Not the most exciting video. Now this video though. Now, this is from Reddit, so I think I should be able to play the whole thing. But, this object this isn't the first time this object has been filmed. This is another one of those objects that has been filmed, several times throughout the year doing this exact same thing.
Wow.
I think if people do stories of Quetzalcoatl, that's a
oh my God,
some kind of Russian or Mexican legend.
Wow.
The way these things move, I think that these are some type of creatures that live in the upper atmosphere. Similar to the STS-75 video, where you see these huge 2 miles to 5 mile wide. They're creatures. They're some type of low orbit space bovine, I think, because there's so many of them out there. And this object here is something that has been talked about in Mexican lore for I think a long time. Like I said, I think it's called Quetzalcoatl.
Wow.
But yeah, whatever this thing, look at it, it definitely has worm-like movements. So I don't think these are ships. I think this is some kind of organic creature that lives in or in the upper atmosphere. I've said this before in my videos. On our planet, in every different environment, from the deepest parts of our oceans, to our skies, and in any temperature, even from the hottest deserts to the coldest tundra, there is life on this planet. Somehow, life finds a way to survive and thrive, right? So again, if we go to the lowest parts of our ocean, by those steamers, whatever they're called, there's all kinds of sea creatures that survive in, I think, 1200 degree water or something. I mean, yeah, it's super hot down there, but there's all kinds of life down there. And, even in all the different levels of the ocean, right? There's different creatures that survive in their particular environment or particular level. And, why would it be any different for our atmosphere? I mean, if there's life down here, isn't that the same? As above, so below. Why couldn't there be these creatures that live in our atmosphere, and we're just now learning about them? And I don't know if people have heard the story about the panda, but when people first started talking about the panda, people said, hey, there's a bear that's half white, half black, and it eats bamboo. People are like, no, you're crazy. There's no way that could exist. And then when someone finally did see one, I think they took a photo of it or something like that. But even after it was confirmed, it was another like 90 years or something like that before it was ever seen again. So yeah, this. We don't know everything. There's so many people out there who want to discount things because they've never encountered them before. But yeah, we don't know everything that exists under the sun. I think that at least that's what I'm coming to learn. Now, let's see. Let's go to this one here. Now, yeah, because like I said, this is an old footage, but
An unidentified flying object.
While Neil and Buzz were on the lunar surface, Neil switched to the medical channel and spoke directly with the chief medical officer, saying, "They're here, they're parked on the side of the crater, they're watching us."
I spotted a lot of stuff that seemed to not belong on the moon.
And it has very distinct features of a satellite dish. It's got the dish itself, the crater shape. It's got a long spike that appears to come out of the middle. All sorts of stuff that looks exactly like a satellite dish on Earth looks.
There's an interesting picture on the moon that does appear to show something that could be a bridge, maybe a pipe, could be an inching worm.
I have no doubt that extraterrestrials could very well have populated or made structures on the far side of the moon.
The reaction of...
yeah, you see, and then another thing is they keep calling them extraterrestrials. I don't think that they are being built or used by beings, that are from out there. I think if there are structures on the moon, it most likely is being used by the advanced species on this planet. It's just my thoughts, but I could be wrong. So let's just go on to the next video, or the next story here. Now, this is a story that I've definitely heard about before, and I'm sure, Ancient Aliens or some of those other UFO shows have done stories like this. And again, I'm going to say it again. All of these stories from all these different shows that show videos or photos of UFOs, most of the time, those photos are taken of UFOs around our planet. Now, I understand, we don't have a lot of photos of UFOs in space because we don't have a lot of people in space, and we don't have a lot of monitors in space to detect UFOs out there. I get that, but still, the images that we have of UFOs are of UFOs around our planet, going into and out of our oceans and our lakes, right? So I would conclude that if there are UFOs flying around this planet every single day on a constant basis, then they most likely are also from this planet. But anyways, let me get to this story here. In April 1941, a local sheriff visited Reverend William Huffman, a pastor of the Red Star Baptist Church in Cape Goudreau on the banks of the Mississippi, Missouri. The sheriff asked the pastor to hold a service for the victims of a plane crash that had allegedly happened on the same day near the city. Huffman agreed and arrived at the crash site. The place was full of police officers, FBI agents, firefighters, military men, doctors, and there were debris of some kind of aircraft. First of all, Huffman was surprised to see the wreckage of the plane because it was totally different from the usual airplane. He knew it from his experience of traveling in both military and passenger airplanes. Huffman had never seen anything like that. The object was metallic and shaped like a giant saucer. There were no seams or joints visible on it. Huffman tried looking inside the destroyed object through the huge hole that there was at the outer surface of the object. He saw there was a small metal chair, some instruments and consoles with dials, and also many other things that he'd never seen before, which it would be very difficult for him to describe. At some point, Huffman saw some strange inscriptions that resembled Egyptian hieroglyphics. Huffman went to the 3 dead bodies lying on the ground near the object to give them last rites. When he saw the bodies closely, he was shocked because they were dead aliens the size of a small child. He guessed that those aliens had probably been the pilots of the crashed object. He noticed that the 2 of the bodies were lying next to each other, but the 3rd one was at some distance. He thought that the 3rd one had not died in the crash immediately and managed to go away some steps further from the spacecraft. According to the pastor, the creature had tiny mouths with indistinguishable noses and no ears at all. They were wearing tight suits that looked like chewed aluminum foil. When Huffman finished his prayer, several military men approached him and told him to keep his mouth shut about the incident. Therefore, for all those years, he had not told anyone about it, but he shared everything with his wife and sons. So, again, this is a video of the whole thing. I'm not going to get into the reading the whole thing, but I'll leave a link if you want to finish reading it. Let's go to the last one here. Yeah, I think this one is pretty interesting. It's about these wasps here that check this out.
Caterpillars like these do not make.
Yeah, you know, this wasp is basically trying to check out these caterpillars, and it risks its life in order to inject it with its eggs. And yeah, once it's done injecting its eggs, yeah, that's it for this caterpillar. Look at that. That's its eggs being injected. It says it can inject up to 50 eggs. But anyways, let's just get to the chase here. This is after apparently the wasp larva begin eating the caterpillar. The wasps begin eating any of the non-essential organs of the caterpillar, and then finally, when it reaches a certain point, they begin to burst out like this. Look at that. And let me go back here. Yeah, look at this. Up to 50. They can up to 50, and then while they're bursting out, the little wasp larvae begin to start making this little silk, and then once they're completely out, the caterpillar is still alive, and then the caterpillar finishes creating this protective layer for the wasp, and then it stays alive to protect the wasp until it starves to death. But anyways, I thought that was kind of interesting. That there's these little wasps that are basically like aliens. So I'll leave a link to that in the description, but that's going to be it for this video. If you like things like this, please give this video a thumbs up. Please share this video. And if you're new to the channel, please subscribe. I'll have more things like this. Take care.